गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Happy Shravan Somvar, everyone. First Monday of the Shravan Mass. We are in Vivek Chudamani and we are looking at 563rd verse. And in the last verse we saw Prajnana ityatma lakshanam satya suchakam anudyaupadhikasyaiva kathayanti vinashanam. The wise indicate the self to be a conscious homogeneous mass, and it is meant to indicate that it is the reality, and thereby the thing which is conditioned is destroyed by the destruction of the conditioning. So space supports all forms, supports the entire creation, and this creation comes into existence, goes out of existence, the elements come into existence, go out of existence, but the space is ever the same, untouched, unaffected, undisturbed. If a pot breaks, space doesn't break. If an ornament is melted, gold remains gold. Exactly the same way, come to understand that you are that one who is supporting the entire creation of the waking, dream and deep sleep. And whenever the waker who is identified with the waking body, dreamer with the dream body in the dream world, waker with the waking body in the waking world, when they unmanifest or they die, nothing happens to you. Waker is a phenomena. So are you considering yourself to be the one and only one? Are you considering yourself? What is your interaction with yourself? Are you the listener right now, or are you the one in whose presence the listening is going on, listening is happening at the equipment level? Again and again we have to come to that one who is supporting everything yet independent of everything. Just like space. Just like gold supporting all the forms but independent of all the forms. Independent of all the forms means the presence and absence of forms does not affect the gold. Presence and absence of form called pots does not affect the mud. Similarly, the presence and absence of the form that I consider, we are ready to give up the dream form when we wake up. Why don't you give up the waking form also? Because you have not accepted that you are someone other than the waker. That is where we are going wrong. We have to deeply contemplate, but joyfully contemplate, not seriously, and come to this. In that contemplation itself, everything will happen. Don't worry. And then it will start clicking. Like so many, when you must have started your journey and started going to satsangs, many a times, the concepts, the ideas, subjective, objective, that I am in the world and the world is in me. So you were asked to change your approach, and it sounded very difficult. It seemed very difficult at that time, but as we have progressed in our journey, in our seeking the truth, every day, every now and then, with every satsang, something is chipped away, something clicks. And it's as long as we are in satsang, knowingly or unknowingly, something will keep clipping, keep clicking, keep clicking, keep clicking. You may hear the same thing again and again and again, and without your knowledge, you are going deeper and deeper. Or every now and then, without any desire even, you just stand apart from whatever is going on for a fraction of seconds, for a few moments here, for a few moments there. And now, after so many years of satsang, not just with us, but many other places you must be listening, now many more things are gelling together. You don't have the same doubts that you used to have, the same confusions that we used to have. Now the basic tenets are more or less, we have understood. We understand what is subjective and what is objective. Understand. At least we are intellectually convinced. And if we keep practicing, it's very easy to do yoga and keep practicing, Here we need to practice. We have become so obsessed with being the individual that we have to take the contrary position, that I am the infinite one. Everything is in me, not I am in the world. I am the independent one. I am the one who is supporting everything. Therefore, in life, never be a taker, be a giver. Because that's when we will feel the abundance without any expectation in return. That's how the nature functions. Sun keeps giving without wanting anything in return. Tree keeps giving without wanting anything in return. Water keeps giving without wanting anything in return. Air keeps going in and out without wanting anything in return. It doesn't even want your gratitude. Everything in nature is only giving, giving, giving. Only human being is one who wants, takes. Even in the animal kingdom there is no desire. Only in the human kingdom there is desire. So let's get out of it. And here Bhagavan Shankaracharya is saying that the thing which is conditioned is destroyed by the destruction of the conditioning. So whoever is conditioned, who is conditioned? The ghost is conditioned, the I is conditioned, the individuality is conditioned by the conditioning. And last week we saw the conditioning can be space-time objectivity, it can be sattva, rajas, tamas, it can be avidya, kama, karma, it can be the panchakoshas, it can be the waking experience, dream experience and deep sleep experience, whichever way you put it. So what is told here? If that conditioning is destroyed, the conditioned also goes out of existence. So who is the conditioned? I'm asking. Who is the conditioned?
The jiva.
Jiva. Who are you? I'm asking.
Brahman.
We are the,
Brahman.
yes, we are the infinite one, essentially.
Substratum.
So as we stop giving value to the conditionings, to that extent, this jiva, this I, will have less things to associate with, will have less things to call it mine. And this is exactly what happens. It has got nothing to call and attach itself to, identify itself with in deep sleep. That's why it goes to sleep. And it is happening naturally. We have to just bring it about consciously, that's all. And frankly speaking, if that point comes somewhere, there is no attachment possible whatsoever, as much as you may try. The vision is not attached to what it is illuminating, the forms and colors. The hearing ability is not attached to the sounds, so it allows all the sounds to come and go. So also the five senses, so also the mind. Mind is not attached to thoughts. If it was attached to thoughts, it will be staying with one and will not be able to allow the various thoughts to come and go. So, in nature, understand this, in nature, attachment is not possible. Our natural state is of detachment. Then for whom is the attachment? This ghost called individual. This ghost called the ego. This ghost called the I, who is, for whatever reason, don't go into finding the reason. For whatever reason, it has chosen to prop itself up, and it can prop itself up only when it associates itself with as many things as possible. The more the things are there, the more the beings are there, the more the experiences are there, the more the memories are there, the stronger is this I. The less they are there, the I, you have to trick it. There's no other way. You have to convince it that only in giving up is the salvation of the I. I has to get convinced. That means you have to get convinced. Where is the I? In the intellect. It's only a thought. See? So as it keeps here, as it says, the thing which is conditioned is destroyed by the destruction of the conditionings. So is it true? So here we are talking about the I, the individuality, the ego, which is conditioned by the conditionings. And as we remove the conditionings, the conditioned I also dissolves. But are you the I, or are you the Atma? Are you the I with thoughts, or are you the thought-free I? Question is this: which one do you consider yourself to be? Is it, I'm quoting here, is it by destruction of the conditioning called form, gold also vanishes? Not possible. By the destruction of the conditioning of waveness, does the water vanish?
No.
Does water dissolve? No. So what dissolves? The wave dissolves. Where was wave? Existing in its own absence. Exactly the same way. This I is existing in its own absence. You cannot, as much as you may try, have an experience of your own absence. It is not possible. And therefore, homogeneous, ever, continuous, without a break, homogeneous, without a break, continuous. Homogeneous is very beautifully explained by Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Never becomes less, never becomes more. There is no lack. You cannot add anything to it, you cannot remove anything from it. It ever remains the same, complete, full. See, just one line, how much we can keep going. But we will go to the next one. What is it? Avinashi va areyam, avinashi va areyam, atmeti shrutirātmanaha, atmeti shrutirātmanaha, prabravitya vinashitvam, prabravitya vinashitvam, vinashyatsu vikarishu, vinashyatsu vikarishu. Avinashi va areyam, atmeti shrutirātmanaha, prabravitya vinashitvam, vinashyatsu vikarishu. O dear self, O dear student, sorry, not self, O dear, it's one and the same for the teacher. O dear student, the self is indestructible. This statement of the Upanishad also established the immortality of the self after the destruction of the mutable bodies. This verse also comes in it says Atmeti Shrutirātmanaha. It comes in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, and there Yajnavalkya says this Avinashi va areyam Atmeti. So the self is indestructible, and that which is indestructible means what is destruction? Destruction is that which goes out of existence, isn't it? Ornament which was in existence, now the form of the ornament has gone out of existence, but the gold doesn't go out of existence. The wave which was present, it goes out of existence, but the water doesn't go out of existence. Similarly, the waker comes, the dreamer comes and goes, waker comes and goes, sleeper comes and goes. The Atma doesn't go out of existence. Take it more closer to yourself. The husband comes and goes, the brother comes and goes, the son comes and goes, but the man doesn't go out of existence. Isn't it? Recognize this about ourselves, that we are that. What corona then? What world war? What disease? What accident? Nothing. All these are only for the body. And he who considers, or he or she who considers themselves to be the body, naturally, suffering will be there, misery will be there. Indestructible. That which never goes out of existence is indestructible. That which is permanent is indestructible. That which never becomes more or less is indestructible. That which has never attached or detached is indestructible. That which is complete is indestructible. That which has never become become the finite is indestructible. So you are that. You are the indestructible. Oh, but I was born and body was born. Let the body die. If this also, if the last breath come when it happens, and we are aware of this, that I am the indestructible principle, only the body is going, body is feeling the pain, body is refreshed, body is awake, when I say body, breath, mind, intellect. The body is going to sleep, body is waking up, body had a deep, blissful sleep. Recognize this, and that is the way it is. The phenomena is in the body. Phenomena is not in the self. Self is supporting without the self, phenomena cannot express. Without the water, wave cannot express. Once we have accepted ourselves to be the indestructible one, once we have accepted ourselves to be the water, like the water, then will we fight to stop ourselves from expressing as the wave or the ocean? Because there is no will, there is no desire there. It will automatically happen or not happen. Who cares? Who cares after that? This idea that there is a wave and an ocean is only for the wave. It may be for the ocean, but for the water, there is no ocean and there is no wave. Which one are we considering ourselves to be? The individual, the total, or the infinite one? The truth is, we are at any given moment the infinite one. Choose wisely. As I was telling you before, whatever we practice intensely, you were not born a husband. You got married, husband or wife, you got married, and you kept impressing on your mind, I have to behave like a wife, I have to behave like a wife. Now I'm married, now I'm a Saubhagyavati, I am like this. Every day you will put kunku, every day you will make tea, every day he will also do. And slowly, it becomes your second nature to behave like a husband and wife. But it's an acquired nature. You are not born husband or wife. You are not born a father or a mother. See? Every child who is growing, he doesn't know he is a son or a daughter. We impress, hey, you are a boy, you are a girl, you are a boy, you are a girl. Da, mama, mama. And after some time, if he says, mama, mummy is happy. It's my baby. Because you have said it to him so many times, he doesn't have any choice. That's the only impression if at all, is forming on his mind. So same way, habit creates. If we keep believing that we are individual, we will be individual. If we keep believing that we are a product of this world, that will be our experience. If we believe we are the total, then that will be the experience. In totality, we have many different levels. Bhurva, Swadapa, Janamaha, Satyam. But if we consider ourselves to be the finite, then that will be our disposition with practice. And eventually we will transcend that practice. The question is, here the teacher, the Yajnavalkya is telling his wife, I think, that the self is indestructible. Self can never. Destruction is of the waker, destruction is of the sleeper, destruction is of the dreamer. But the self, which is supporting the phenomena of waker, dreamer, and sleeper, is the indestructible one. It is the changeless principle. Changeless. Change is destruction. Self is changeless. Change is equal to impermanence, is equal to death. The self is deathless, permanent. And that I am, essentially. We have to contemplate it in this manner. पाषाणवृक्षतृणधान्यकटाम्बराद्या पाषाणवृक्षतृणधान्यकटाम्बराद्या दग्धा भवन्ति मृदेव यथा तथैव दग्धा भवन्ति मृदेव यथा तथैव देहेन्द्रियासु मनादि समस्तदृश्यम् देहेन्द्रियासु मनादि समस्तदृश्यम् ज्ञानाग्निदग्धमुपयाति परात्मभावम् ज्ञानाग्निदग्धमुपयाति परात्मभावम् पाषाणवृक्षतृणधान्यकटाम्बराद्या दग्धा भवन्ति मृदेव यथा तथैव देहेन्द्रियासु मन आदि समस्तदृश्यम् ज्ञानाग्निदग्धमुपयाति परात्मभावम्. He says, Pashan, stone, vriksha, tree, truna, grass, dhanya, food, kata, husk, and ambaradya, ambara adi, etc., cloth, etc., having burnt, dagda bhavanti murdeva yatha tathaiva, having burnt, are reduced to the element earth. So if the stone is crushed, it becomes the earth. Tree, when it burns, it becomes the ash and becomes the one with the soil. So also grass, food, husk, cloth, etc., are reduced to the element earth. Similarly, the body, dehendriya asumanadi samasta drishyam. Similarly, the body, senses, prana, and the mind, etc., and all the objective world, jnanagni dagdham upayati paratma bhavam, having been burnt in the fire of contemplation, in the fire of knowledge, are reduced to the supreme blissful self. Okay? So when you burn them, they become one with the self. They don't become ash. Where are the objects? I'm asking the question. Where is the objective world?
In the mind.
In the mind and in the indriya.
No, tell the sequence. In the indriya first and then in the... So, indriyas perceive it and mind indulges in it by thinking about it, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yes.
See? So they... And the whole experience of the world, every object of the world, if you don't have a mind, can you know it?
No.
Can you perceive it? Can you get attached to it? Can you get detached to it? No. So mind alone is doing all the is knowing the entire world of objective. Ah,
You cannot see it, you cannot perceive it, you cannot all these things, but you can merge with that, no, Swamiji,
merge with who?
with the world. Because if
No.
the world and you are the same,
So you are saying the water can merge with the world of waves. Is it possible?
no, the waves can merge with water.
Exactly, correct.
Yeah.
And take one step more. Is there mergence of the wave ever possible with the water? No, because it's already water.
As long as wave thinks it's I'm a wave,
No,
you cannot.
so wave doesn't think. You are thinking.
If
That-
wave's perception is that I'm the water, then there is no difference, isn't it?
Good, you answered the question. So don't think that you are the individual. Don't think you are the Renuka. Don't
No.
think you are a wife. Don't think you are asking the question. Don't think you know what is being talked about.
Okay.
Because the moment you own it, you
Then
we have lost the plot.
Yes. Yeah.
See?
That's good.
Ah,
Thank you.
ah. See, for the mind, now you only said, all of you said it, that the whole objective world is experienced by the mind, correct?
Yeah.
And we also know that the whole world is in the space and the space is in the mind. The whole world is in the mind only. So, you experience what? Now see the drama. This is contemplation. When you look at the world, what is your experience? That the forms are outside and the name of the form is inside, isn't it?
Yeah.
For whom is this inside outside?
For the individual.
For the individual, the ghost, the one who does not exist, the one who is a phenomena.
Yeah.
Is it the experience of the mind? No, because mind itself has projected the world and the world is inside and outside both. So mind is pervading the outside world also and the mind is pervading the inside world also.
Yeah.
So mind has got no inside outside.
Yeah.
See how we have fooled ourselves? We have created the division where there is no division. We have created the duality where there is no duality. There are no directions in the space. We have just created the space, directions. So this is contemplation. Think outside the box. You can think outside the box only when, while listening, while talking, our attention, our disposition is as the untouched one. We are untouchable. We are the eternal witness. We are the unchanging one. From that point, if you look at it, then these words will come out.
Yeah.
Then let the mind understand. Yes, it will understand because that's the job of the mind. See? So suddenly everything is just, we can't hold on to any damn thing. इसी का मजा है. You can't hold on to anything. And that is the truth. Tree cannot hold on to the flowers. Tree cannot hold on to the fruits. Tree cannot hold on to the leaves. I think that example came before in this or in Amritanubhav. See? If you go to the shepherd forest, shepherd trek, you see all those big long trees, 50, 60 feet tall. And now you go and see, all of them are naked. They're just dropped all their bark. And they'll grow new bark. And then next year you come, again they will be naked. Now you go around anywhere in Melbourne, it's autumn. All trees are naked. No leaves, no fruits, no flowers. All in funny, funny positions. Can't give shade. And yet, they look beautiful.
They are unattached.
Unattached. So are you. So are we. Our nature, the nature of Atma is unattachment. And we are just using that word unattachment because we are thinking as an individual. That's why. Something has to be communicated, but words are insufficient. So when he says here that just as the stone, tree, grass, food, husk and cloth are having, etc., having burnt, are reduced to the element earth, similarly the body, senses, prana and mind, etc., and all the objective world having burnt by the fire of knowledge are reduced to the supreme blissful self. So when we do the sadhana or contemplation of bhutakash, chittakash, chidakash, what are we seeing there? Instead of going in, now look out. The chidakash, out of its own free will, expressed as chittakash, where aham and mama is there. The I and that is there. Aham and idam. Idam is everything else other than aham. And one of the idam is the akash, the whole creation. Excuse me. See? So, just because there is creation called the bhutakash and there is creation called the chittakash, has the chidakash become two? Just because there are many ornaments, has the gold become many? Gold is still the gold only, no? Just because there are we are saying there are ways, does it mean that there are the water has become many? Our fear in contemplation, some people may think that way. Why talk about fear? But when we contemplate, when we contemplate on what? Whatever you become focused on, heat will be generated. Fire of contemplation. Fire is what? Which devours everything. So you are contemplating on what? Your mind, which is essentially, what is the nature of the mind? Nothing but consciousness. But it doesn't know that yet. So the mind, through the thoughts, is thinking about itself, which is permanent, which is indestructible, which is infinite. That is its nature, which is pure consciousness. It can never experience it, but it is contemplating in that. As long as it feels that it needs to put efforts, as long as it feels that thoughts are an impediment, as long as it feels that it is separate from the reality, till then it will keep contemplating. Because it has not accepted that it is the infinite. So as long as the contemplation is there is an outside pull, there is inner pull. As we get pulled to within, the mind is thinking about its own essence, its own source, about its indestructible nature of this I. Which I am I then? Am I the I which is coming and going with every thought, or am I the one who knows that every I thought with respect to idam is coming and going? The mind is thinking. And in that fire of contemplation, the fire of knowledge, as says here, the objective world starts getting burnt up. Just as just few days ago, 2 weeks ago, all the university exams were there. The kids here, one or two of them, they didn't care about food, they didn't care about sleep. Their goal was, I have to pass. They made day and night, they were continuously studying and studying and studying and studying. Then, the moment exams were over, they want the pizzas, they want pasta, they want this, they want samosas, they want to go out, they want to do this, they want to do that. Arey, why were you not doing it before when the exams were on? Because the focus was somewhere else. So what happened to all these things? The party, pizza, food. You never thought about food that time. Now how come you are thinking about it? See? So when we go to sleep, has the world vanished or has it become unmanifest? Have we discarded the world of waking and dream, or has all the variety of waking and dream got absorbed into nothingness? What has happened? It has got absorbed, isn't it? Same way, as the mind contemplates on the essential nature, the entire objective world is not rejected. It is rediscovered as the self. In
Question,
Gyaneshwar.
Swami. We are using the mind, which is a part of the manifest, to think back towards the source, which is unmanifest.
Correct.
Doesn't that give a little deficiency? How can the manifest, which is actually come from the source, think back on a higher thing? We are using the tools of a less powerful equipment.
Yeah, but that is the only tool you have.
That's
As long as you think you are an individual, the only tool you have is the mind. If you don't want to use it, then accept yourself as the self and live as one, without a second, like Mahatmas do.
Yeah.
But right now, scriptures don't know the self, but all scriptures are only indicating it, no? So what did I say before? As long as the mind is there, as long as you are considering yourself to be the mind, as long as we are considering ourselves that I am the mind, I have to think, I have to attend satsang, I have to contemplate, I have to seek, I am a disciple, I am a seeker, I am a meditator, I do japa every day, I do this, I do that, doing, till this doing is there. Till then, you have to take the support of mind only. There is no other way.
Swamiji,
But now, what is the quality of dialogue that is taking place in this mind will determine where we end up. And what Vedanta is teaching us, it is not teaching us go into samadhi and come out. It is not teaching us. It is teaching the mind, because it can only address the mind. And what is it teaching? That hey, mind, you don't try to free the I. You have to become free from I. You have to dissolve this I. then mind says, oh, but I am only existing because I is there. Yes, you have to dissolve the I. Then you will experience, you will become one with the source. So in that process, the mind begins. As long as it is seeking, it will go in that direction only, and its journey towards its source will be directly proportional to its conviction. Only conviction. If it is not convinced, and if that conviction and there's still some ifs and buts around it, till then it will not, it can only go as much as it is convinced. And eventually it has to give up that conviction also. Because conviction means again thought construct in the mind. So therefore the language that Vedanta utilizes is contradictory language. On one hand it is teaching us to contemplate, on the other hand it is telling us you are already that. And if mind thinks that it is already that, it doesn't know it. See, it's a conundrum. For the mind, not for the self. But while this entire contemplation, even right now, you ask me a question, I am answering, others are listening, they also heard the question, they must have formulated some answer within their minds. They did not say it, but everyone is thinking, contemplating at this moment. Do you know all this was going on?
No,
Yeah.
not in mind.
Do you know that? Do you know that you asked me the question?
Yes.
So that means there must be someone else who was observing the question being asked.
Yes.
See, this is what we miss every time.
Yeah.
Every moment we are missing it because we take the position of the individual, being an individual. Of being the individual means being the mind. I am the mind. I am the body. So
Swamiji, the question about the unmanifest and manifest, that can we see it this way as well, like Purnamada Purnamidam? Like what we are saying is like
yes, Purnamada Purnamidam is not the mind. You can say the mind also, but
Yeah.
it is the self.
It's a self, but then mind also the self anyway, isn't it, Swami? But we think, I mean, like I think.
Yes, so if you take mind is the phenomena happening on the self.
Yeah, on the self. So
Yeah.
that means it's even though it is, you can see that as manifested, but it is not. It is all.
So it is because, see, this idea called mind is only for the individual.
Yeah. Yeah.
The concept of mind, the phenomena of mind where duality exists, it's not there for the self.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
If you, as I told you, gave you the example, for the water there is no phenomena of ocean and wave.
Yeah.
The phenomena of the totality and the absolute, that those words are only valid for the individual wave.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes, Swamiji. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
So which one, again, see how quickly we get distracted. Which one are we considering ourselves to be right now? Are we the individual, are we the total, or are we the infinite one? Even as the mind is listening at this moment. Because that's the job of the mind. It has to think. Let it think.
Very nice.
But the entire dialogue that is taking place from the beginning of the class till now, it is again and again pointing through words that which is beyond the words.
Yeah.
You see? And that which is beyond the words, supporting all the words, supporting the entire phenomena, yet uncorrupted by the phenomena, that is my true nature. This should be everyone's take at this moment without a thought. You have to keep, even while I'm saying it, I have to be, I don't know what to say after this.
Yeah.
But see, so, and all the similarly the body, senses, prana and the mind, etc., and all the objective world of names and forms, having burnt by the fire of knowledge, are reduced to the supreme blissful self. See, we see the whole world as separate to ourselves. Every wave sees all the other waves as competition to it. But when that same wave, the water in the wave, takes the position of the totality, the ocean, what is its stake now? All the waves are in me. So will it now go through any competition? Will it go through any competition? No. Now it understands, the ocean understands. Same way this individual which has taken the position of totality, it understands that the material that has gone in every wave or every individual, every form is me only. It cannot come from, that material cannot come from outside. This is expansion. Then can I like someone and dislike someone? No. Can I desire anything? Can I desire this wave and hate that wave? No. Then same way, Mahatmas also are functioning in this world. Not hating, not loving, but unconditional love is there. Accepting everything as it is. Oh, but we see they get angry, we see they get hungry, etc., etc. That the body is going there, they are not. Which we cannot understand with our disposition at this moment, we cannot understand it. But we must attempt. What it would be like, take this position every day. What it would be like, what will be the take of the ocean with respect to all the waves? That should be my position with respect to the entire creation of all the beings and objects. The ocean will say, I am the one who is expressing through all the waves. I am supporting all the waves. The waves cannot be without me, but I can be without waves. Do you have this experience about the world? See. So, practice. That waker, dreamer and sleeper are because of me. I am in and through the waker, dreamer, sleeper and the waking world, dream world. Every object in the dream world and the waking world is pervaded by the self that I am. I am supporting the appearance and the disappearance of both the worlds. But I remain unchanged. And when I look back, even one day, I realize that that is the truth. Because for so many days, waker, dreamer, sleeper have come and gone, and I have not come and gone. I am still the same. Because if I have come and gone, then how come I know that these three have come and gone? How come I know that these three have come and gone? How come I know all the thoughts are coming and going? I must be other than the thoughts, therefore I know thoughts are coming and going. See? So when we take this position, then all the objective world, all the thoughts. Now this requires, it takes lot of, as long as you think you are an individual, you will try. that trying is called fire of contemplation. And that will start burning away. And what will it burn away? It will burn away everything. So whatever you put into fire, it burns and makes it into fire, into the flames. So this fire, it burns away all objectivity, all thoughts. And what does it become? It fuels the fire even more. And when everything, every last bit of the fuel is used up by the fire of contemplation till the last thought, then now no more fire is required. Why? Fire was required because you were contemplating on something. But now there is no contemplation left, so there is no fire also required. Now only one without a second is left behind. Then that's all that there is. Vilakshanam yatha dhvantam, vilakshanam yatha dhvantam, liyate bhanu tejasi, liyate bhanu tejasi, tathaiva sakalam drishyam, tathaiva sakalam drishyam, brahmani praviliyate, brahmani praviliyate. Vilakshanam yatha dhvantam, liyate bhanu tejasi, tathaiva sakalam drishyam, brahmani praviliyate. Now the example is taken how the entire objective world merges and becomes one with Brahman, one with reality. That was told, no? Are reduced to the supreme blissful self. How does this happen? With wave and all, you can understand. The wave dissolves and becomes one with the total ocean. And what is the total ocean? Satchidanand Swarup. So here example is taken. When the sun rises, the darkness which is of the contrary nature disappears in the light of the sun. In the same manner, after the dawn of knowledge, the entire objective world is merged in Brahman. Disappearance disappears into the source, not somewhere else. Not somewhere else. Disappears into the source. Where did when the ornament is melted, where does the form of the ornament go? Goes back to the gold. Goes back to the gold. The rainbow, when the conditions are gone, it goes back to the sky. Where does the darkness go? The darkness goes back, merges into, becomes one with the light. This is only by way of expression. How can that be possible? How is this possible? Arey Baba, there is nothing called darkness. Absence of light is called darkness. There is nothing called wave. There is only water there. So can the wave vanish? Oh, now in the fire of contemplation it has disappeared. Where has it disappeared? It has gone back to the original source. In fact, it was always the original source. Recognition of this fact is what is required. That the self is all that there is. There is no becoming of this self. This self has never become anything. It has not become the waker, it has not become the dreamer, it has not become sleeper, it has not become the father or mother or daughter or sister, or it has not become the body, it has not become the mind, it has not become anything. The self has always been the self. It was the self, it is the self, it will be the self, continue to be the self. Homogeneous, as the previous verse said. Ever and ever and ever and ever. Well, we can't even use that word ever. Because then
You're
you
subject to time.
yeah, you can't use that word. So you become, see now, just in that dialogue we are becoming alert that all these words are obsolete. They're important in explaining the self because they're finite. The words are finite. But what are these words trying to explain? They are trying to explain the self that I am. Don't take the self as a concept of contemplation now. No, I am that at this very moment. And because you were contemplating in that manner, that's why that, what Subramaniam just now said, suddenly that came out. That words cannot do that. Because we are, for that one moment, we were there, untouched by what was going on, untouched by the barrage of words, ideas, examples, scriptural support. Nothing matters.
Swamiji, so if as a seeker, when the sankalpa comes, when the thought comes or something comes, can we just think that the thoughts just came like a wave and is going to mingle with the wave? It's going to mingle with the ocean.
So now, see what you are doing now. One sankalpa came. In order to work out that sankalpa, you had so many thoughts just now.
Supports.
So many support. You are trying to justify it. You are trying to justify its existence. You are trying to, don't go into unwanted thinking. If at all you want to think, you think of the self, story over. Or if you can't do that, think of the name of the Lord. Okay, with bhav. And as the mind quietens down naturally, without any will, without any force, without any effort, then these things will automatically start getting invoked in your mind. These contemplations automatically will begin. Don't overthink everything. So what we are doing then, why Swamiji you are telling all this? This is a washing machine treatment. We are taking the dirt out of the mind. But for that, we need to be subjective. You are asking a question of the mind. I am not talking about the mind right now. My continuous position is that we are the one and that's all. So when it says in this verse, when the sun rises, the darkness which is of contrary nature disappears in the light of the sun. So can the darkness disappear? Now the question is this.
Darkness didn't exist.
Good. But for an ignorant person, what we will say? We'll say in this manner, no, that the darkness disappears. But when you contemplate on it a little bit more, you realize there is nothing called darkness. So how can it disappear? Because it did exist in the first place. Now if someone says, no, now outside there is no sun, there is no light, man, there is dark. Good. What did you say? There is no sun.
No sun.
So the absence of light is called darkness. You have given it a word. But because you have given it a word called darkness doesn't mean darkness is valid. Darkness is not an experience. Darkness is not you can say phenomena or no phenomena. Form can be a phenomena. Darkness cannot be a phenomena. Because it doesn't exist only. So you think about this in this manner. Avidya kama karma. Ignorance leads to desire, desire leads to activity. What was the source of all activity? Desires. What was the source of all desires? Ignorance. And what is ignorance? Which does not exist. And what are we doing? What is the mind doing? Activity. And what is the source of activity? What is the source of contemplation? See, when you start thinking like this, pagal ho jaoge. That is why Mahatmas are called unmattavat. They are intoxicated. So if at all, because we didn't create this phenomena. Phenomena is that which happens under certain conditions. We did not create this mind. It came about. So if at all it has to think, its job is to think. Let it be oriented, let it be contemplative, let it be thinking about that which will give it tranquility, which will give it peace, which will give it a mergence. It will give it completion rather than continuous fluctuation, expression, manifestation, unmanifestation, manifestation, unmanifestation. In the same manner, after the dawn of knowledge, the entire objective world is merged in Brahman. Again the same thing. Before it was told, the fire of contemplation, the objective world is reduced to supreme blissful self. Now here it is told that what does it mean that the whole objective world is reduced to the supreme blissful self? The entire gamut of waves are reduced to the Satchidanand Swarup nature of the ocean, the total waters. But they were already that. You are already that. But our obsession for the world, our obsession with everything, with the differences, with the sense of otherness, obsession of non-inclusivity, that is keeping the status quo at the moment of individuality. If I have to build muscles, I'll go gym every day and my muscles will be built. If I want to be a marathon runner, I have to run every day or every 2 days, take long journeys. See, I started cycling few months ago actually. Dr. Raj gave me the cycle. And all my pain in the knees and everything is gone. My muscles, even coming down the stairs, I am on the first floor, coming down to ground floor, I used to avoid because sometimes the pain on this side of the knee, sometimes but continuous cycling, all pain gone. Muscles, all the knees, all the muscles around the knee, the back, the sides, the front, everything is so solid, like rock now. Regular practice. So, practicing these thoughts continuously again and again, exposing our mind to this knowledge, which is thought knowledge, of course, but it is indicating that which we are already, that which the mind is already. That is its nature, its essence. We have to keep practicing it, and one day it will click. One day it will click. We keep practice cycling. One day it clicked. We practiced swimming. One day it clicked. Now we can float. But till you didn't learn how to float, till the day it didn't click, you drank so much water in the swimming pool. See? So whatever our mind applies wholeheartedly, again and again and again and again, whether it is physics, whether it is chemistry, whether it is anything, any field you want to take, eventually it will excel in it. But do we have the perseverance to, without doubt, keep continuing to apply our mind, that is called abhyas, in that direction? For 10, 15 years you must have studied medicine. Now you don't have to think. Every now and then a little bit of whatever is the latest data coming, but otherwise all the diagnosis, all the basics are all clear. For everything you don't have to go and check your books and read all the manuals and, oh my God, how am I going to, again I have to go to the doctor, to the surgery, and I don't know if I will be able to diagnose properly. Does that question come to your mind? If not, then why this question comes that, Swamiji, I understand, but it is difficult to know the self? Why this question comes? Your whole life you have been pursuing something and excelling at it. Whether call it wife or being a husband or being a parent or being a professional or being a walker or a swimmer or a cycler or a driver. Any field you have taken, whole life, data is there that you have got better and better and better. And many things have just clicked when you least expected it. But the important learning there is you kept applying yourself in that direction. So why, when it comes to spirituality, we say it is not possible, it is difficult? No, it is possible, it will. All we have to do is, without sanshaya, without doubt, keep applying, abhyas, expose your mind to the satsang without expectation. Allow the words of the satsang, and best satsang is when you uddharet atmana atmanam. When the self is contemplating on the self. That is the fire of contemplation. In that, you are not thinking, Ocha, how many things have burned down? If you do that, then you are thinking of anatma. Do you think when you go to sleep, tonight you will go to sleep, observe, when you are going to sleep, are you thinking, Acha, how many things have gone out of my mind? You can never come to know. If your thoughts go towards how much your mind has become free, then more thoughts will come. As long as your mind is focused on the sleep, the thoughts will leave you, will leave the mind completely. So apply, practice, expose. Uddharet atmanam. Expose your mind to that pristine, immaculate, ever existing, ever conscious and ever blissful self. Keep contemplating on it again and again and again. Make it a 24/7 while everything else is going on. Then what will happen? Then the entire objective world will merge into Brahman. This is the vision of the masters, no? The realized masters. Once they in Amrit Anubhav it came. Once the mind has dipped into, once you have taken a dip in the river, you cannot come out dry, man. You will come out wet. Once the mind has taken a dip in the infinite ocean of the self, of the divinity, of grace, of the Lord, whichever, doesn't matter. How does it matter? कहीं तो पहुंचो यार. All mean the same. All the different words are used because you consider the word Paramatma is used for the yogis, the word Brahman is used for the Vedantis, the word Ishvara or the Lord is used for the devotees. From the infinite's point of view, there are no differences. You have created differences. I am a yogi, I am a Vedanti, I am a Raja yogi, I am a Kundalini yogi. लगे रहो फिर और क्या? Then that type of language has to be used. Because you will not listen to you will not accept that all are same. You are accepting that my way is the best way. All are same. And that I am, essentially. घटे नष्टे यथा व्योम, घटे नष्टे यथा व्योम, व्योमैव भवति स्फुटं, व्योमैव भवति स्फुटं, तथैवोपाधिविलये, तथैवोपाधिविलये, ब्रह्मैव ब्रह्मवित् स्वयं, ब्रह्मैव ब्रह्मवित् स्वयं. घटे नष्टे यथा व्योम, व्योमैव भवति स्फुटं, तथैवोपाधिविलये, ब्रह्मैव ब्रह्मवित् स्वयं. When the pot is broken, the pot space becomes the total space. Similarly, when the conditionings, bodies are disowned, the knower of the Brahman is Brahman indeed. See, when you speak the language, it seems to be like this. Now you tell me, what is the error in this? What should be a error? Language is okay for explanation, but how we should think. When it says, Ghate nashte yatha vyoma, when the pot is broken, vyomaiva bhavati sputam, when the pot space becomes the total space.
Yeah, it should not become, Swamiji, already that.
The becoming is the fallacy in that, Swamiji.
Bolo Mahatmaon ki jai. My Sashtang Namaskar to you all.
Thank you, Swamiji.
She's so happy. She's so happy. Good. The pot space cannot become total space because it is already space. See? Now, if you understand this part, can you become realized? Can you become realized?
We're already realized. We are that.
This, what you just said, we are already that. This statement comes only in our Upanishads. This statement only comes in our Upanishads. It doesn't come in yoga. It doesn't come in anywhere else. No other religion. Only in Sanatana Dharma this statement is there. And the capacity to contemplate that you are already that. Therefore, no conversions. Our Sanatana Dharma, the Upanishads, the Vedas, they are not addressing Hindus or Christians or Muslims or Buddha or nothing. They are addressing the human beings. They are addressing the humanity. They are addressing the living beings. Immaterial of. You come to here, not here because now the room has changed. That cat which we have, It's always in the satsang.
Yeah.
It's always in satsang. Whether it is chanting class, whether it is Sanskrit class, whether it is Wednesday class or Thursday class, wherever it is, it will come and spend time in the satsang. Like that Jada Bharat, when in the Bhagavatam it comes, when the Bharat Maharaj, when he died thinking of the deer, he was born a deer. He found himself in the ashram, listening to Vedic chanting, listening to satsang. And then the next birth was Jada Bharat, born realized. We don't have the eye to see. Maybe that cat is the last birth for her as in the lower yoni. Maybe that fellow did some. I'm going away from the topic now, going into past life and future life. Let's not go into that. But our scriptures, when they say everyone is already realized, that courage to say that, other religion, every religion, they will say it is blasphemy. It is going against the divine. How can you be the divine? Because we understand water is already the wave. Water alone is expressing as the wave. We understand the material cause, whatever this creation is, whatever this, and our creation is divided into three: waking, dream and deep sleep. That is the total creation. That creation, the creator of the creation and the material that has gone into the creation is one and the same. And therefore we can roar about it, that we are already that. There is nothing other than that one reality. All we have to do is get our eyes checked, that's all. Come to the correct eye, that's all.
The real eyes.
Yes, eyes, no, eye.
The real eye, yeah.
Don't make it plural. The essence behind the eye, when you say real eye, yes. So this present that has been presented to us comes only in Vedanta, meaning the Upanishads. This thought is not given anywhere. It comes in Bhagavad Gita, it comes in the Upanishads. It comes in the 11th canto of the Bhagavad Mahapuran. There also, that is the Jnana Skanda. And every here and there, many places, it is this thought is presented. See, so feel yourself very fortunate as a seeker. Feel the gratitude that Lord has present. This teaching has come to us. We are able to understand. We are. It's gelling with us. It's all His grace. It's all the infinite's grace. And as long as we are in that disposition, things will take place. Everything has its own time. One day suddenly it will click, as long as we are in contemplation of that. Joyfully, not forcefully. When the pot is broken, the pot space becomes the total space. Similarly, when the conditioning bodies are disowned, the owner of Brahman is Brahman indeed. So that which is coming and going, I am. When we take, again, the first part you all answered, that the space cannot become the total space because it is already that. Now when we come to the second part of the shloka, similarly, when the conditionings the bodies are disowned, this is for the seeker now, that when he is disowning, meaning he is so at one ment, he is continuously contemplating on the self, the fire of knowledge given in the 464th verse. Think of that. Single pointedly he is continuously applying Uddharet Atmana Atmanam. He is not allowing Anatma to enter. Raising the self by the self. Find out what it means. Not just repeat the word Uddharet Atmana Atmanam. How can how can the self raise the self? Think, contemplate, and suddenly you will find yourself there in that contour. How can water, the wave, can become water, the infinite? So the wave self is contemplating Uddharet Atmana Atmanam. I have to become one with the total self, infinite self. As long as it's thinking, it's creating the distance. The moment it stops, but it must stop naturally. It must stop naturally. It must stop with understanding. It must stop as a result of conviction. It must stop as a result of absorption. It must stop as a result of realization that the individual and the total are one always. Just like you know right now that you alone are the waker, you alone are the dreamer, you alone are the sleeper. Do you know or you don't know? You know it. Then don't get influenced by them. Live a life independent of these three. Live a life in spite of these three. Remain in that contemplation. Then Brahman is Brahman. And it says, the knower of Brahman is Brahman indeed. Brahmaiva Brahmavit Swayam. Brahmaiva Brahmaiva Bhavati. These are statements of truth. One came before, Avinashiva Areyam Atmeti. That was a statement of truth. Again, Brahmaiva Brahmavit Swayam, another statement of truth. Brahman is Brahman indeed. Nobody else can come to know Brahman. Only Brahman can come to know Brahman. Only water knows water. Wave can never come to know water. Wave has to give up its waveness, dissolve its waveness, merge its waveness. The waveness must go out of existence. We are not saying the wave must go out of existence. We are not saying the wave must go out of existence. The waveness, the feeling that I am a wave, must go out of this I, which is identified to the form. This I must vanish. Because the realized master has dissolved that I. The body is still continuing now. Body doesn't need to go out of existence. Mind doesn't need to go out of existence. The owner has to go out of existence.
Conditioning body.
No. Don't go into conditioning now. I'm talking about Uddharet Atmana Atmanam. I'm talking about Brahman knows Brahman alone. There's no question of conditioning there. Conditionings will continue even after realization. Don't worry about that. Because that's a phenomena. You cannot stop the phenomena. You cannot create a phenomena. It is happening by itself. Whom we are concerned about is the owner of the phenomena. Body parents created. We went and entered and said, this is my body. And now you are frustrated, I am not the body. In the first place itself, it was not our body. Why did you say it is my body? Everything would have been fine. That's why Shukdevji Maharaj did not want to come out of the womb of his mother. Because he heard the Chatushloki Bhagavad when he was in the womb. For 12 years he did not come out. When he came out, he did not want to speak only. And then he spoke. Only when the Parikshit Maharaj asked him the question, he started speaking. See? Wonderful. Thank you for being here. I can have this contemplation. Otherwise, by myself, I just read that and go to sleep, you know. This is the Vyaspeeth. But for the Vyaspeeth, there must be someone there that this expansion happens. One verse. How many? 1, 2, 3. 3 verses we did. How much we spoke about it. How many approaches we applied. How many times we kept coming back to the same self which is always. How many ways we tried to show that the mind is a phenomena and we are still in spite of the phenomena. Brahmaiva Brahmavit Swayam. Brahman is Brahman indeed. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. We'll have the Gita class tomorrow. Jnaneshwari will be done tomorrow. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday and Monday will be talks in Hindi on the occasion of Janmashtami. I think Tuesday is Janmashtami. So till Monday. And it will be in Hindi. So I don't know what is going to come out, but and Saturday we'll have the Bhagavatam as usual at 6:10 p.m. And so whole week of satsang. Chalo. Hari Om.